Hmm. I have a confession. I've lost the horn. That's right. Spurt. Spurt's horn has stopped working. So I need to. It's under there. I need to get under there and have a look. It could be just as simple as a wire's come off. Or who knows, because it was working the other day. But I went to give somebody a little toot for pulling out on me, bastard. The horn didn't work, so I was very aggravated. I had to slip him the finger instead, which was most inefficient. Anyway, yes, hello Olive. Yes, hello Charlie. Yes, Charlie's here because Phyllis isn't back yet, is he? Steve. Yeah. Want to get cracking on Phyllis. Right. Suppose I better have a look at Spurt.
A few moments later.
The horn is up there. It's an aftermarket one, and it's effing loud. I'd love to know what make and stuff it is, because it really is train loud. It's fantastic, and I want to put one on the Aprilia, and I want to put one on Phyllis, and I want to put one on the Mercedes, because it is super effing loud, but it's massive. So the fitting of that is supposed to be like an infill panel there, and obviously that can't be fit. I've seen some online, but ideally at some point I'd like to replace the top cone anyway, because it's fucked. Right, oh, that looks like a mounting bolt. There, we have got another one. Yes. Are they easily accessible? Are they? Anyway, right. I think they're 8mm. Well, I'll see if I can get a spanner up there then. Yes. Right, wiring. Let's have a quick look. Have we got any loose? Oh, that'll explain it. Broken wire. Well, that's just made the job a whole lot different. I'm still going to take the horn off. That's right. I'm getting the horn.
12 seconds later.
Well, there we go. Look, the little bastard's off. Broken wire. Now, I'm sort of hoping there might be enough. This wiring loom has been butchered in the past. Totally butchered, because somebody's tried to street fight the bike. I'm hoping I've got enough slack to make it easier if I could pull them wires up and get to them from above, but that's yes, that's just looks like it's snapped in the terminal. Yes, it has. Probably corrosion. You know, who knows how long that horn's been fitted, but this is it. What make is it? Oh, it's a Umex Chinese special. But I tell you what, it is effing loud. I'm going to have a look on eBay for one of those. Yes. So, part number's at the top, 61688. Yes, I'm going to have a look on eBay. Order some more. It's quite a weighty unit. And yes, somebody had used like massive industrial washers to fix it on. You don't really need to, because, you know, bolts and everything. And that looks like a double bolt, actually. Anyway, I might just fit that to the Merc. Oh, hang on. Ooh, floor rumbled. Yes, I've got a brand new Kawasaki horn, which I might put on there instead, because it will fit under the shroud if I decide to fit the shroud, which I'd like to, when I hopefully replace the nose cone at some point. Right, what am I going to do? Well, let's see if we can pull that wiring up then, shall we? See if we've got enough room. It's not going well, is it? Shut the fuck up. Well, good news, I managed to get the wires up, and as you can see, they don't look standard, do they, boys and girls? So I'm going to put a pair of new terminals on that, and I'm going to fit an original Kawasaki horn. The other horn's there. I'm going to try and fit that to the Mercedes. There is bad news though. I stood up a little too quickly then and elevated myself into my own fart cloud. Yes.
One eternity later.
Hello. I've fitted the horn to the Mercedes now, so I've now got a nice loud fuck off horn for when builders pull out on me on the main road. Even though I'm doing a perfectly legal 50 miles an hour, they still think 3 car lengths is a safe length to pull out on. Fucking cunts. Anyway, yes, well that's it for this bit. I think we have a Bernard somewhere in the garden. Who knows where? Anyway, I thought you were in the garden.
Yeah, I am.
So, Bernard, tell me, in all the years you've lived on Earth, what is your secret to a happy and satisfying life in old age?
Robbery, violence, destruction, lying, conniving, scheming, if that's the word, to get away with it.
Ah, so basically Keir Starmer.
Basically copying him.
Oh, jolly good.
Not as good as him.
Oh no.
No.
Oh no. Oh, hang on.
Beautiful.
Lovely. Anyway, I'm off.
Are you off?
I'm off.
Where are you off?
In my shed.
Oh, bye.
A3.
Oh, let's put you there. Right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this update from the shed. It's pretty mild this morning. I have had to have the heater on. I have been frigging about, basically. I've been buggering about. I've been a bit busy, so the quantity of videos has dropped, which a lot of you are probably thankful for. This is because I am busy. At the end of the day, I've got stuff going on here, I've got stuff going on outside. I'm pretty busy at work, which is nice. It's always nice to be busy until you want a day off. But anyway, stuff's happening. I haven't got the time to film as much as I did. Situation will probably improve after Christmas. Who knows? Anyway, updates. Still haven't fixed Spurt's horn. I have not been back in the shed because it's now a few days later from the bit you've just watched. Yes, this is now later on in the week, and I'm just playing. I can at least be doing. Anyway, as you may have seen in another video, I've tarted up an old AA badge because I like the vintage stuff. And if you like the vintage AA stuff and what have you, if you go to Burnham on Sea, I'm sure it's Burnham, near Cromer, near Wells, Cromer and all that lot, in one of the lay-bys, I think it is actually at Burnham, is a vintage AA call box. Once when I was out on a bike, test bike, it was a production bike, so it was alright. I took a photo of it. I think it was a Kawasaki Eliminator. Took a photo of it next to the what's it called? Call box. Yeah. And it's good. So I like that. So all I've done basically, how these were built were 2 parts. You know, the back part which was enamelled yellow, and then you had the front part, and then they were riveted together with the member's serial number on the bottom. I basically all I did was clean it up a little bit, and I've just used Humbrol enamel on the yellow. From 300 yards away it looks fine, and then I've just polished the metal a little bit, and then the idea is I'm going to fit it to Slinky at some point. It was going to go on the Rover, but no, it's going to go on Slinky now. So yes, that's that bit. Boring, Jim. Yeah, still haven't fixed the horn. I've got to just do the wiring, put the wiring connects on. I've got the horn. It's early morning, Jim. It does happen occasionally. You know, it doesn't happen when there's a woman around, but it happens everywhere else. Back of the bus, no problem. Anyway, so I've got that to do, and also parts have come in for the slinkage. It's very, very common on the older Mercs, CLKs, SLKs. Lots of cars used it. Lots of Chryslers and stuff used it. Chrysler Crossfires. A lot of GM stuff used the dreaded K40 relay pack. This is how they did things before basically solid state technology and software and shit took over. Yes, and shit, that covers a whole magnitude of things, doesn't it? Yeah, so what's going on? Well, lots of shit. Explains everything. This is the K40 relay pack. I bought this as tested, used and good on eBay, and it was over £100. It's about 140 quid used, but as with anything you lose, you take a gamble. Now, what's inside here, if I can pop this out in a moment, is I think 5 relays. One of them does like the ABS and stability. One of them does the horn. I think one of them does the fuel pump, and the other one, I think, is just a spare. It's for an air. I think it's for an air pump for environmental systems in America. So we don't use it. Let me see. Oh, let's use a delicate tool. Big fuck off. This does not work. As soon as I plugged it in, one of the signs of a faulty K40 is that the cooling fans will come on the car. They'll just come on and keep running and keep running and keep running. And I wanted to replace it because my fuel pump relay was not working. I could manually work the relay and it would run, but it wouldn't switch on of its own accord because there is a circuit board here controlled by an ECU, and I think how it's supposed to act is that when you first get in the car, it will prime the pump to put pressure in the fuel rail. The car will start and then the pump will run pretty much constantly, but it will maintain the head of pressure. Now, how I got the car to run is, let's open the magic box. So anyway, yeah, this was tested as working, and as soon as I plugged it in, the cooling fans come on, which is a classic sign of this not working. Because what people do when they sell them, you see there's 5 relays. I took a couple off to try and replace one on mine, but it was unsuccessful. It's the circuit board that goes bad, not necessarily the relays. You see, it's paint marked. He did paint mark them all and say OK, because all you're going to be doing is putting 12 volts on the ground to each relay, and if it goes click, oh, it's working. That's not how these work. These need to be plugged into a car to be tested. So yes, the relays were fine, so it wasn't sort of misdescribed, if you like. But I did let him know. I says, that's not how you test these. You test the circuit board plugged into the car. And he says, oh well, it's come off a scrapper. But he says, I've tested the relays and I assure you they work. I haven't got a problem with that. So it ended up being a spare. It didn't work. The fault is with the circuit board. On K40 relays, what normally goes is these 2 pins at the top here usually get a cold solder joint. You get a hairline crack in it, and then you've got no continuity. So that's really, really common, and 9 times out of 10, if you just reflow the solder there, it will work. It was a problem with the soldering of the time. I think they used non-leaded solder. That sound right? Sorry if you're American. Solder. Yeah, there's an L in there. Would you like to use it? Actually, I do watch a couple of Americans and stuff. Watch Wes work if you watch him. He does actually pronounce it the correct English way. Solder. Solder, not solder. Get your soldering iron. I'm going to poke your eye out with a soldering iron. Sounds stupid and gay. Anyway, so that's the problem. So, what I ended up doing was, I believe, I can't remember which one's the fuel pump relay. I think it's that one. I can't remember. Anyway, I ended up, like I say, 2 of these relays are for your anti-lock and your stability control and stuff like that. They're permanently on with the key. So as soon as they're on, they close, that circuit is permanently on. And what I did, I put a bridging wire to one of those, to the fuel pump to the fuel pump relay, and it worked. And that's how I've been driving it. I mean, the car's done, I bet it's probably done 500-600 miles, probably more, since the MOT. But obviously in the back of my head I know that that is not the proper fix. I think what should happen, like I said, was the ECU should put the pump on, maintain pressure, switch the pump off, put the pump off, maintain pressure. Jesus Christ. And I didn't like the idea of the pump running all the time. If the engine's running, it shouldn't really cause much issue. There's still a pressure regulator there at the end of the day, but I wanted to replace it. Now, as I'd already bought one, which was good, you're taking a massive gamble with a used one unless it's been plugged into a car and tested. There is no guarantee it will work, and you'll still be at stage one and you'll be out of pocket, because in theory, if somebody's tested it and the relay's working, all this lot, they're really not mis-selling it by saying it's working. What you need to do is make sure they've plugged it into a car and the fans haven't come on and all this lot. So this was actually worse than the one I got. So it's handy, you know. At the end of the day, I had some spare relays, and I've got spare relays if I need them. However, I went on the foreskins, a new one. Sorry, I'm going off on one again. Jim, that's normal for you. I looked on Mercedes UK, and I go on a site called Pelican Parts. They're in America, the United States of the Americans, and there's on Pelican, I think they were $270 for a new one, plus about $30 shipping. And I thought, yeah, okay. I went on to Mercedes-Benz UK and I couldn't find one. You know, I put the part number into Mercedes and all this lot, couldn't find one. I don't know if I was looking incorrectly or what. But then I went on the foreskins, and I tend to avoid forums because you end up chasing your tail half the time. There'll probably be one correct response out of 3,000, and it's finding that correct response, because a lot of people just guess because they're trying to be helpful, and 9 times out of 10 they're not. So I tend not to go near forums unless I'm desperate. Jim, you are desperate. Yes, that's sexually, not normally. Anyway, according to the forums, it's not just Mercedes. You can get one from Mayle, make one. Is it Mayle? M-A-Y-L-E. They make one. Apparently it was a common fitment to a lot of cars, and it does exactly the same job in a lot of cars. So I looked at the Mayle one and found one on eBay. And I thought, oh, brilliant. And then there was another one made by a company called Standard Motor Company or something there in America. Of course, everything's going to be made in China, because everything is. I haven't got a problem with that at all. You know, we want cheap stuff. They make it. But obviously it's a quality part. So I ordered Standard Motor Parts one, which was not £300. I mean, that's before you start frigging around. This with import taxes, because this has come from Wisconsin, USA. I do like America. I do. A new one. So it's their version of it. Comes with all the fuses. It's plug and play, basically. So yeah, I got that, and that was £170, including the import taxes, delivery, and all that lot. And believe it or not, got it on Amazon. The last place I would have looked, I was looking on eBay, I was looking on like Mercedes parts forums where people were linking parts for sale and all this lot. But no, it's come from Standard Motor Products. This is their head office, I'm guessing. Incorporated, yeah. Long Island City, New York. Long Island, New York, yeah. So it was Welsh. We'll give it a whirl. Did I just say how much it was? Just did. Fuck wit. So I'm going to fit that at the weekend, because I need to disconnect the battery for about 20 minutes, make sure any residual electricity has fucked off out the loom and the ECUs and capacitors and shit, because what I don't want it happening is to just plug everything in. There's 5 plugs that go on the top. One of them is your power and ground, and then the other goes out to what parts need to be activated. Shit, it's that technical. So you've learnt a lot today. But what I'm going to make sure is there's no arcing or anything like that. I don't want the battery to be connected when I plug everything in, because you never know, do you? You never know. So with any luck, the soldering will be a better quality and stuff now. So it's a lot of it's age, to be fair. And so that's going on at the weekend. And also, just before he had his exhaust nicked, a little while before, some thieving pikey bastards nicked his exhaust. I replaced the rear dampers because it was decidedly squishy in the rear. It's a soft riding car anyway. It is not a sports car. It was never meant to be a sports car. It was a boulevard cruiser. Basically the whole idea of it was a smaller version of the big SLs that Mercedes made at the time. They wanted to make a smaller car. I've got some front dampers, which I will be hopefully fitting at the weekend, because the idea is to take the car up to Scotland again. So I'll fit them. It should be simple enough. The rear one's just 2 bolts. They were pretty easy, I must admit, and the front ones are pretty much the same operation. It's a separate spring, separate damper, which makes life a whole lot easier. Because the front looks a bit low, the springs can sag a little bit over time. They can certainly snap, and it's, you know, the car was built in 2000 for the 2001 sale. So yeah, they're getting on a bit, but oh god, I had a massive brain fart then, which is surprising because a lot of you reckon I haven't got a brain. You'd be pretty right. So yeah, I'm going to replace them. It's a 16mm bolt at the bottom on the come on Jim, wishbone, whatever you call it, arm, suspension arm, yeah. And then a nut at the top, under the bonnet. You take the protective rubber cap off of the damper rod, spin the nut off, drop it out. Hopefully it won't cause too much bother, and we'll have some slight more control over the front end. It's not terrible, but the rear dampers, new rear dampers, improved back end, no end. So yes, I've got that to do. Bike wise, not much to do. Obviously this is a few days later from when I was filming the horn. Phyllis is still with Uncle Steve. We must arrange to get Phyllis back because I'd like to get my fingers inside her and see what's wrong, whether it was a timing chain that's gone or another valve that's dropped. Didn't feel like a valve, if that makes sense. It was a very, very mild breakdown, literally just a tinkle, 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 and it stopped. Could be timing chain. I don't think it's an interference engine, so I don't think it would have hurt anything, but we don't know till we get her back, so I must arrange with Uncle Steve to get her back, because we need to borrow a van basically. And also I think, I can't remember when, I think there's a Stafford show coming up or something. I wouldn't mind going, but I don't know where it is. If it's before my holiday, I can't go because I've got to save my money for holiday. So anyway, that is your little, there's nothing else I need to update you on. No, I don't think there is. Aprilia, that's fine. The battery's going to need charging because it's Italian. But since the car's been back on the road, I haven't touched the bikes. I haven't touched them because I've been riding them constantly for months. It's sort of nice to have a bit of a break, and for the first time ever, I'm even considering sawing them over winter. And then if I want to do some jobs, a little bit of light restoration on things, you know, I can do. So I don't know, I'm going to have a think about that. Put what you think down in the comments. News on the Aprilia. Ages ago, when it was running slightly hot, before we discovered it was like a pint short of coolant, pint and a half, whatever it was. I did order, because the original is corroded, I did order a fan, it's not fan, a temperature sensor switch, which is at the bottom of the rad. Is it bottom or midway? It's on the rad. And it come the other day. I've waited weeks for it because they have to order it. It's from Wimoto, yes, and I haven't even opened the envelope yet. That's how thrilled and excited I am. Oh, there we go. Origin Italy, so it's probably more than likely an original, but that is the temperature sender switch, and that was about 60 quid, 63 quid, something like that. Sounds about right. At some point, obviously, I will fit it, but what I need to do is, well, I'll probably do it when I service what's her name, Olive. Forgot them, you see. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. No, it doesn't. So yeah, I'll replace it then, because I will drain and flush the system out and put fresh coolant in and do the oil and the filter and all that lot. But I might just do that over the winter and get them ready for spring. I do like to keep a bike ready, because we do have some nice days in autumn. But we'll see this year. This is the first year where I've really not been that bothered. So we shall see. So this concludes this video. I may film the fitting of the dampers and what have you, because obviously it's content. There's nothing much to this. You literally just disconnect the battery, wait a bit, pull the plugs out, shove the plugs in, clip this back in. I might film it, who knows, it may be useful to somebody. You never know, do you? You never know. I've been looking through my back catalogue, and it's surprising how many views a lot of the older videos have got. Like none of my videos are to do really. A couple are, but none of them are. I'm just showing you what I'm fucking about at. And a lot of them are getting quite a few views actually. I'm quite surprised. I was tempted the other day, because I've almost completely come off social media now, and my life has improved drastically, because you haven't got this constant, you must look at me, you must like this, you must dislike this, you must think like this. I'm basically just on Instagram and here now, which is fine. I can cope with that, and I don't spend idle minutes doing this anymore. I find something to do. It's a lot better. It's a lot better. So yes, that'll do, I think. Goodbye. Thank you for subscribing and watching this shit. Don't forget to press that little like button, because I get about 80 odd views on a video, between 45 and 80, which is absolutely fine. But only like 2 or 3 people will click the like. So if we could have some more likes, that'd be great, because it'll help me out. I've actually, although to be fair, the algorithm has now started to, it does it occasionally, it's started to recommend my content when I'm searching for stuff. The fucking hell, it doesn't know, does it? Really doesn't. Anyway, goodbye. See you in the next one, whenever that may be.